Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the AEW Dynamite review for the 25th of November 2020. Yet again, this program shows why it is the best professional wrestling program in North America on a consistent basis. I will be covering Dark, which was a marathon show, Impact, and NXT all within the next few hours. So lots of content there. My apologies. My mouse broke and my trackpad is a little wonky. So if you hear me tapping harder than normal and the microphone picks it up, I'll apologize. I ain't going out till after the Black Friday weekend. So it's going to be that way for a couple of days. Anyway, we start with Hangman Page. Facing John for Silver. Silver is the guy that they've committed to a little more than, I wouldn't say normal, but a little different. Supposedly, Evil Uno uh, requests the match because the Dark Order likes Page. Silver predicts he wins. And so, I mean, this is Page's first match since the pay per view. The Dark Order joins Page or joins Silver for his entrance, and Page is by himself. Anyway, Page takes control at the start of the match. Silver comes back with a dropkick and some arm drags, does some posing, showing more personality than honestly he's been allowed to show. I hope this eventually means he leaves the Dark Order. Page flatlines him with a forearm smash. They hit a couple chops, and there is a back body drop, which we haven't seen those on a consistent base in a while. Anyway, Silver continues, and Page hits a springboard kick, but lands a diving crossbody for a 2 count. Silver lands several kicks and stops Page. Hits a back elbow. Silver hits a German suplex with a bridge for near fall. I'm not necessarily sure I like the idea that Page is competitive with Silver only because Silver's part of the Dark Order, not because of his necessary ability. If they unfortunately, and yes, to me it's unfortunate, put the championship on Kenny Omega, one would assume that he's going to go after Adam Page or vice versa. In other words, they are going to do business. And I don't think it's a good idea to have Silver be this competitive with a guy that could be the number one contender in the next 6 months or less. It's just my opinion. Anyway, Page avoids a attack in the corner, and both men do some dives. Page lands on the outside. Page hits a lariat for a near fall. Silver fights out of this, hits a cross body. Page turns it into a Samoan drops and hits a shooting star press for near fall. And then Silver hits a counter to the buckshot lariat, hits a Rana, and hits a good bit of offense, hits a brainbuster for near fall of his own, and then Page absorbs some shots and fires back with forearms. I mean, they're doing a little too much, um, but at the same time, eventually Page hits a Liger bomb and hits the buckshot lariat for the win. Glad to see Page get a win. Post match, Dark Order comes out, and Page is ready to fight. Uno said they want to recruit him. He calls the Elite a cult, which I wouldn't. I don't necessarily disagree. There are some fans that follow them like they are one. And he says the Dark Order is here for Page. And then Kenny Omega is interviewed by Alex Marvez. Why does he still have a job? Who is he friends with? I mean, Marvez has the personality of Toast. Anyway, he's asked about his thoughts on the beatdown of Moxley last week. Omega says a year ago he's nursing injuries from the match with Moxley. Uh, Moxley is being called the best in the world. Um, and Moxley and the AEW World Championship. Omega gets the belt. People won't consider him to be the best. I still won't consider him to be the best, even if he has the belt. I would just consider it him getting the belt because he's an EVP. Honestly, like I don't, and I know there are people that love Omega. He's now in the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. He supposedly is great in Japan. I've seen, I don't know, 50 of his Japan matches. He's good when there's someone there to match him, but he doesn't make people. The people he's in there with have to be good to great to draw him out of himself. Other than that, he's average to above average and terribly overrated, and he doesn't have a relatable charisma. So, I mean, to me, he's not a guy to build around. If you want to put the TNT title on him, sure. Want to put him back in the tag division? Sure. You want to give him shots every few months because there is a part of the fan base that enjoys him? Sure. You want to put the belt on him? I'm sorry. The ratings for the segments will prove that he doesn't draw. Anyway, Omega says to leave the garbage wrestling at home, something I actually agree with Omega on, and challenges him to beat him on wrestling ability, and said that his father would beat the heck out of Moxley's father, tying in with the promo from last week. Darby Allin cuts a promo. He sets fire to a car with the TNT Championship. Powerhouse Hobbs defeats Lee Johnson. I really feel bad for Johnson here. Johnson, to me, is too talented to be in the role of an enhancement talent at this point. There are many, as AEW Dark proves, talented enhancement talents. I don't think Lee Johnson should be one of them at this point. He's got new gear. It's a singlet. It kind of looks like a African American version of Taz now, kind of, sort of, because he does the black and orange. Hobbs sends Johnson to the floor, makes fun of him. Hobbs hits a falling power slam, gets a quick victory. Taz grabs the microphone, cuts an amazing promo, tells Hobbs to go celebrate, and he grabs the FTW Championship. It's not officially recognized by AEW, and says he wouldn't leave until he met with somebody. And that changes that. Taz continues to complain. His microphone gets cut. Justin Roberts, after being yelled at, gives him a microphone. Cody Rhodes, with a producer's headset, makes his way out. He says that Taz is wasting time and announced next week Hobbs and Ricky Starks would face Cody and Darby in a tag match. Taz says that's not enough. Cody then says he would talk to people about it, but that's not enough. Taz draws him into the ring, referencing being future endeavored and other WWE terms. Cody asks Taz why his son Hook is training with him. Cody then finds Taz dropping a microphone and says he's gone too far. He turns around. He tries to choke Cody out with a Taz mission. Nightmare Family makes the save. Taz's son appears and walks off with his father. This was an awesome segment. Taz is so real. He's relatable. He's a tough guy who paid his dues for 30 plus years, who doesn't want to see his legacy tarnished, doesn't want to see the championship tarnished, doesn't want to see AEW become WWE. It's just such a really awesome segment. So Eddie Kingston's interviewed by Marvez. Again, why can't Eddie Kingston just slap the guy? He's asked about the reformation of the Death Triangle. Kingston said he's not mad. He's just upset and disappointed. He expected this from Phoenix and Pac, but not from Penta. Moxley interrupts and stares him down. And Hybrid 2, Jack Evans and Angelico defeated Top Flight, Darius Martin and Dante Martin. I It was fine. TH2 is not a team that I would put a young team in there with to draw the best out of them. And Helico, upon occasion, I enjoy in small doses. Jack Evans, I have never seen anything in Jack Evans that doesn't scream he's a ripoff of Red of the SATs. Like I don't see anything in the guy that says give him a contract. And I know he's big in Mexico, and I know that people that have worked with him say he's a nice guy, but I don't see where he is anything other than a skinny guy who can do lots of flips, who doesn't really add much to the show other than to be a tackle dummy. That's just anyway. Um, so anyway, Top Flight signing is announced, and Helico and Darius start off, and Helico tries grappling. Darius uses speed to get away, and Helico does some chain wrestling. Dante tags in. Top Flight hit a double team maneuver, and Helico cuts it off, and TH2 takes control throughout the commercial. Dante hits a roundhouse kick, buys him some time to reach Darius for the hot tag. They go nuts. Missile drop kick for near fall, and then they uh, hit one on the hot tag. Eventually, they hit an assisted spine buster, and Helico breaks that up. Evans looks for the German suplex on the apron. Dante sends him to the floor. Then there's a suicide dive. Why do we need these? So many of them. Speaking of which, Tope con Hilo isn't necessary either. Back in the ring, Dante hits a splash for near fall, and Helico makes a blind tag, and Evans missed a springboard moonsault for near fall, and Helico sets up a razor's edge on the buckle. Dante turns that into a code red. That was a nice spot. I will give credit where it's due. Evans takes out Darius on the floor, and Helico locks on the Navarro death roll, and this forces a submission. It was fine, but again, if it were me, I'd give him to SCU, give him to FTR, give them to a team that can carry them to something that draws something better out of them. That's just a personal opinion, nothing more, nothing less. TH2 bring the they continue the fight. The Bucks run out to save them. Vicky Guerrero speaks with Nyla Rose in the back. Guerrero said she'd teach a lesson in nepotism, referring to Brandy Rhodes, and she said she wasn't the one that told Jade Cargill to attack Brandy last week. FTR video package airs. This is so well done. Tully Blanchard is along for the ride. They said even though the full gear match won a ton of accolades, doesn't mean anything because they lost. They lost the match. They lost the championship. They still maintain to be the best tag team in the world. Tully said the championships remain FTR's destiny and told the Young Bucks to fear the revelation. Really well done. I hope the belts go back to FTR sooner rather than later. I also think they're the best tag team in the U.S., if not the world. I don't study enough international to know the world, but I would say definitely the best tag team in the U.S. by a wide margin. So Jericho and Jake Hager with the Inner Circle defeat STU, Daniels and Kazarian. Entire Inner Circle, Santana, Ortiz, Guevara, MJF, and Wardlow are out. And story behind the match is that Jericho and Daniels have wrestled a combined 58 years and never faced off, so they start off. This was really good. Daniels gets an advantage, tags in his partner. Hager beats Kazarian in the corner. I really don't understand the role of Jake Hager, to be completely honest. I mean, he's a real life fighter, so to me, he should be at the top of the championship singles deal. That's where he should be. I don't understand the idea of having him in a tag team that's here part time. I mean, I understand he's going to train for real fighting, but at the same time, if you have a guy that has real life fighting ability, to me, you make the most of that. Anyway, Inner Circle keeps the beatdown and frequent tags going. Strikes by Kazarian. Daniels goes nuts. Ortiz trips him midway through. Kazarian argues with the official. Inner Circle beat down Daniels. They keep attacking. Kazarian takes down both opponents and hits a moonsault on Jericho for near fall. Ortiz tries to distract Kazarian, but Kazarian knocks him off. Daniels tags in, hits a stomp, and then we see Hager tag back in, and he hits Daniels with a lariat. Daniels goes for diving flatliner, and Jericho breaks up a pin after a near fall. MJF punches Daniels with a Dynamite Diamond Ring, allows Jericho to hit the Judas Effect for the pin. Kazarian lays out MJF after the match. Inner Circle was too much for SCU. Jericho grabbed Kazarian and looking for MJF to hit him with the ring. Scorpio Sky runs out with a chair for the save. This was really, really well done. Tells a good story. They actually set up Jericho and Kazarian in a singles match next week, which I look forward to that too. Miro and Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford debut their new video game segment. Orange Cassidy walks up to Miro, but the best friends are outside. Both teams brawl, and the best friends powerbomb Sabian into a porta potty. Miro knocks down the camera, and that ends the segment. This is a waste of Miro. I mean, I know that the best friends are over with the AEW audience. I don't get it. I don't have to. I understand that. But when you bring a guy who I'm sure is making decent money in from WWE and you throw him in a throwaway tag team feud like this, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal is announced for next week. They do say that MJF is going to defend his ring, which is interesting to me. AEW World Championship contract signing, Moxley and Omega for it next week. Omega posed behind the screen for his entrance. Moxley runs out. Moxley DDTs him and hits the paradigm shift on the championship in the middle of the ring. Moxley takes the microphone and said that whoever Omega hired to attack him did a bad job. He's still here, and that's the only way that Omega could become champion. He says that Omega needs to become everything he thinks he can be. Omega or Moxley starts promoting the match and said winter is coming. For Omega, he told him to steady his aim and take his shot because he's only going to get one. And then he signs the contract. I don't know. I don't really. I mean, the match is going to be fine. It's probably going to be pretty good because Moxley can bring an American-style match out of Omega, but I don't think it's the match that they're hyping it as the biggest thing in AEW history. Nah, no, I don't buy it. MJF immediately takes the microphone, calling Kazarian a coward for sucker punching him. Jericho said the Inner Circle's fun and games are over and they're going to go back to being dominant, and he will fight Kazarian next week. Video package, airhead of the women's match. Anna Jay discusses her lack of experience, and she said she's being trained in judo by Taya Conte. And Sheeta said that her knee is fine, and she challenged Jay to find more heart. This is fine. Dark Order compatriots of John Silver, Alan Angels, and Preston Vance come out with her before the match. Match is fine. I like the fact they've given Sheeta a long run. I don't like the fact that after such a long run, there are no clear, decisive, can't-miss challengers for Sheeta. Jay goes for the Queen Slayer. Sheeta escapes, hits a backbreaker and a drop kick. And Shida gets driven into the barricade on the outside and goes after the knee, post a commercial. Anna Jay comes after Shida and hits a J kick before demanding a chair from Tai Conte. The official takes the chair. Silver gives her kendo sticks. And Shida escapes the Queen Slayer, hits a straight jacket German suplex, and then hits a running knee for the win. Abaddon makes her way out and goes after the championship. This is not a step up. A very delusional Matt Hardy comes out calling himself the biggest influencer in wrestling. He says that people at home should look to him if they need the courage to overcome challenges. Team Taz, with Taz being absent, spoke. Stark said that Cody crossed the line tonight, and they all respect Taz. And basically, Stark says that Cody has a big ego, and he says that things between them are personal. Then we go to the main event that doesn't make any sense in terms of, I don't understand why they're in the main event segment. Butcher and Blade with the Bunny defeat Pac and Phoenix with Penta. First of all, Butcher and Blade are, to me, indie wrestler looking fellows who probably know someone that likes their work and they have a job. I don't understand. Maybe they'd be on Impact, maybe ROH, but the second largest national company in North America, I don't get it. Pac in Phoenix, I understand the high flying draw, but not in a main event segment before what supposedly is next week's biggest main event in the history of your program. It doesn't make sense. So Eddie Kingston is on commentary. They brawl around for a bit. Butcher and Blade are a pretty big deal. Pac and Phoenix dominate early, and then Pac goes for the Black Arrow a little too early. Blade takes control. Tag to Phoenix. Death Triangle, which is the Pac, Phoenix, and Penta group. They stay on the attack. Pac again gets overconfident, and then there is a strike exchange with Blade winning that. Phoenix and Butcher battle in the ring for a bit. Butcher takes out Phoenix, and then there's a four-way double down, and then Pac distracts the official. Penta comes in, gets some shots on the floor. Butcher cuts off Phoenix and lands a knee for a 2 count. Pac hits some kicks on both opponents. He gets a Northern Light suplex for a near fall. Blade avoids a shooting star press and then goes after Pac. Phoenix makes a blind tag, takes out Blade. Kingston tries to get in and cause trouble. Butcher and Blade hit a powerbomb neckbreaker combination for the win. And I just, why are they? Maybe you're gonna do them and the Bucks at some point, but after that, where do you go? Like, these are not people that should be featured in a major, deal. Anyway, Family continues the attack after the match. Kingston DDTs Pac and does that twice. Lance Archer runs out, of all things, because he's been talking about wanting to get even with Pac and friends for a while, or Kingston's group for a while, and then he lays everybody out. I guess this is fine. Anyway, we will be back with more right after this.